Alright, in our last video we did this multiplication with the square root of 2x times 3 times the square root of 2x. And we eventually found out that it was equal to 6x. Well, why does this even work? The reason it works is because anything that you're taking the square root of is actually something being raised to the 1/2 power. So this right here, the square root of 2x, is equal to 2x raised to the 1/2 power. And if you can remember your exponent rules, if you have an exponent on the outside of the parentheses, you can actually distribute them to your terms on the inside. So this is 2 raised to the 1/2 power times x raised to the 1/2 power. And if you bring everything else down in a similar way, well, we're multiplying everything again, right? Your 3 is going to stay the same because that's not inside the square root. But you're also going to have 2 to the 1/2 power times x to the 1/2 power. Okay, well, when you're multiplying variables, what do? We did that in the last example too, when we had y times y got us y squared, because both y and y are raised to the first power. Similarly, if we had y to the second power times y to the third power, what would we get? Y to the fifth power. Because when you're multiplying variables, you are adding together the exponents. Similarly, we can use that logic here. If we looked at just the terms of the variables, so x to the 1/2 times x to the 1/2, and we can times them together just by using the commutative property and all that stuff. But anyway, x to the 1/2 power times x to the 1/2 power is going to be the same thing as x to the 1/2 plus 1/2, which is equal to 1. So this is actually going to get us x to the first power. And similarly, we can do the same thing actually with 2. If you remember your exponent rules from, again, Algebra 1, if you have the same base raised to an exponent, you can just combine the exponents. So 2 to the 1/2 power times 2 to the 1/2 power is the same thing as 2 to the 1/2 power plus 1/2, which would again get us 2 to the first power times 2 to the first power. And our 3 is still hanging on there, so bring the 3 over. And then that also will get us our 6x, because you simply do 2 times 3. This is just another way of looking at the same problem we did. I think this way makes a little bit more sense. But if it doesn't, just keep it simple and keep it to the first video.